And folks, we are live with Rebecca Eaves, the lovely and talented Rebecca Eaves of the Aero Fund. Hey, Becca, thanks for joining me.
Hi, Tara.
You're a sweetheart. I appreciate you so much.
Well, you're a sweetheart, and I'm going to tell everybody out there right now, we got a case last night, and I called Tara, and she probably had her jammies on, but she ran up to Blue Pearl and did documentation for us that, they used Wave 3 to get it on the last night, and a lot of press on this case this morning, thanks to Tara and the wonderful reporter. And who did you call, Tara?
Well, Katie Rust was the first
Katie
one.
Rust, and I'm so sorry, Katie. You
were a little out of it last night, Rebecca, so please don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Katie Rust was the first one who picked up the story, which we really appreciated. And then today, Sarah Rivest, God bless her, has picked up as well. And we're very, very grateful to her for following up because, a lot of people will just forget about stuff. And Wave 3, which is the first television station I worked at, by the way, in Louisville, has not ever given up, and that's what I so appreciate about them is that they just keep on trucking. So I'm going to move the camera just a little bit closer to you and get this screen closer so we can see you, because I want to show the video real quick of what they put together on Wave, because this was a really, really nice story, and we want to show our appreciation. There's an ad, unfortunately, that goes with it. You kind of have to put up with the ad to be able to see it, so I'll just mute it for a second because you can skip the ad here. Here we go. So here's what they did.
Free dog. That was what's on the collar of this puppy found injured on the side of a road in Radcliffe. Multiple agencies stepping up to try to help him this morning, and one of those agencies, right here in Louisville, has had to deal with dozens of these cases before.
Wave 3 News reporter Sean Bowdy is looking into this now. And Sean, can you walk us through how this dog was found and what's going to happen to it going forward?
Yeah, it all started with a social media post. That dog was found with broken bones, several gashes, and the woman who found the dog immediately took to social media for help. That's when the Aero Fund saw what happened and stepped in. They've named the dog Daktari. He's a new healer, and they say he's suffering from a broken femur and possible broken pelvis. The Aero Fund usually deals with all different types of animal cruelty situations, but they say even this one is a little different for them.
What caught our attention was this collar that says free dog, and it just broke our hearts.
Daktari is on IV pain medicines, fluids, and antibiotics, according to the Aero Fund. Further assessment and surgery is scheduled for later this morning. If you'd like to contribute to the Aero Fund, we have a link on this story on wave3.com. Reporting in studio, Sean Bowdy, Wave 3 News.
Also new here on Sunday.
Boy, that was a very nice article, a very nice story that they did for us on Wave 3, and we appreciate that so much. So tell me, Rebecca, what is the status of Daktari this afternoon?
Well, I've talked to the surgeon several times today. The femur is broken, and that is the leg that was so swollen in the pictures. Tara, I do not see you at all. I just don't know if
that's okay. Here I am. I'll show you. Here I am.
There you go. We knew that leg was so swollen, so we figured it was a fracture, and it is a femoral fracture. And it needs to go to surgery very quickly in order to get the best results. So he was scheduled for surgery today, but then the radiologist picked up what they thought was a fracture to T7 in the spine, vertebrae, and it turned out that we did a CT scan, which again, this testing and these procedures are not cheap at all. But we wanted to be able to find out, do we need to do anything with that T7 fracture while we're in there with the femur fracture. So we did the CT scan. She just called me, and it indeed is a fracture of T7.
Doggone it.
Most likely was all done at the same time, the gashes and just everything that's wrong with him. But since he's going to be completely immobilized, meaning strict crate rest.
Right.
The way that we're going to go is treat it conservatively and keep him as still as possible and let that T7 fracture see what it does on its own. Because once you go in to, vertebrae and stuff like that, there's a whole lot of risks. So we really want to just see what's going on, and that's what they all have decided is the best plan. He's going into surgery probably within the next 20 minutes, and
so we all need to say a quick prayer.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You've become quite an expert on broken bones recently, haven't you?
Well, we've sadly with the Aero Fund and Rescue, which I've been a part of we're approaching 30 years. I've seen it a lot, and I'm not a vet, but I knew from the picture it was most likely a fracture, and also the other leg was knuckled under, so that explains the T7 fracture.
I was talking about your husband. You've become an expert on broken bones. Human broken bones as well as animal broken bones.
In Eaves' household lately. Yeah.
He's doing okay though, right?
Well, we've had a little development today, which I don't really want to talk about,
That's
but
fine.
he's got a long road to recovery.
Yeah, this was a result of a motorcycle accident, and we've all kept you all in our prayers as well. Baxter Eaves in a motorcycle accident a couple of weeks ago that has created quite the schedule for you. Running the Aero Fund, running your household, taking care of matters with a husband with a very, very serious bunch of injuries, and these animal tragedies just keep rolling in, and that's why I'm so grateful to Wave 3 for actually putting a website on there for people to make contributions, Rebecca.
That's unbelievably kind of them. So because and what I want to bring up is the Aero Fund is for severe torture, abused, and neglected animals, and we always listen because we get a lot of requests. And most likely this dog was hit by a car, but we do not know because we do not have a witness. And we, as a group, cannot take every hit by car. But this animal was on the side of the road, and it needed medical treatment, and now. But the thing that caught our attention the most was the how pathetic and sad this case is, because someone took the time to write, like on a piece of paper, or like an envelope or something. It's white, and they wrote "free dog."
Oh, that makes me
large
sick.
letters, and then taped it with like packing tape around the pretty nasty leather collar. And it resonated as this is where we are in the state of Kentucky. This is what we've come to, because there are several, there's shelters out there because of lack of funds and because of their size and because of various reasons that they are not taking owner surrenders. So people are taking matters into their own hands, and they're not pretty. And that's what made it so incredibly sad and so incredibly important for us to get the word out on this. I don't know what you're doing, Tara, but it looks like we're having a strobe light.
I'm sorry. I'm actually looking for the other photos that I took of the pup last night, because they were just so incredibly painful. And I think that one of the things, I'm going to go to your page actually on here since I can.
Okay.
One of the things that broke my heart more than anything, and I know you were profoundly affected by it too, the baby girl, JoJo, who was with her mommy, and they drove up in the late night. They drove up from Radcliffe, which is not a short drive.
Right.
And they took the time to come up and do something really amazing, which was help this poor puppy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In rescue, I always say meet the worst of the worst in people, but you also meet the best of the best in people. And
Yep.
that is true. This woman could have, just like so many others before, because this,
Here she is too.
so,
I mean,
so many people passed this animal by.
yeah.
Hurt, and the same with our other dog that we just brought in, Randy. He was injured for at least 2 days, and everyone just passed him by. And for this woman with her small child to absolutely hunt this dog down and put it in her car and then post to social media, which we responded to, and then drive herself all the way up with the little baby
From
above
Radcliffe.
and beyond.
Yeah. Well, and this picture of her is so beautiful. It's where she was literally standing in the lobby of Blue Pearl. The vet tech is getting ready to take this little guy, Daktari, back. You had just asked her to remove the horrible collar that had
Yes.
paper wrapped around it with tape wrapped around it with the words "free dog" written in great big black Sharpie block letters, which was just horrifying. And as
Right.
she tried to take the collar off, she paused and she said, "It's on so tight."
Right.
And
it
then
was.
she covered her face and pulled this football jersey up. And you know, during the time that she was rescuing this dog, she actually pulled off her shirt by the side of the road. She pulled off her shirt to cover his face because he was a little bit uncertain as she was working to help him, and she was afraid that he might bite her. And so she
Right.
said, if you get a report of a woman by the side of the road without a shirt on, that was me. So this woman went to great lengths. And then
She did.
the part
She
that
did.
was killing me was that the baby was crying, "Puppy, puppy, where are you?" And you
Yeah.
were trying to distract her, and the folks at Blue Pearl were trying to distract her. And she was so sad because this beautiful little dog that she had been helping her mom to take care of was being taken back to who knows what. And I've got the picture of the collar where it says "free."
Again, strobe lights. I'm
Yeah.
only seeing strobe lights.
It's okay. Free
All right.
and dog are the two things that are written on this paper, which was covered with packing tape, which was wrapped around this dog's collar. And,
Yeah.
you know, to me, that's just the most horrifying thought in the whole world, that this poor little guy could have been put in the position that he was put in for just the sake of somebody getting rid of a dog. And you know, I think there's an underlying problem here, Rebecca, and you can speak to it better than most. But you know, city shelters are only required to take stray dogs by law. They are not required to take owner surrenders.
No, and that's what's happening in. I can honestly say I don't have, and a study needs to be done, how many shelters in Kentucky. But I have spoken to many, and they aren't taking owner surrenders, and there is just an epidemic of these animals just showing up on dumping grounds, or just let loose. People are taking it upon themselves to get rid of, and I hate those words, the animals in their own way. And sometimes it's awful, and it's terrible. It's just so sad.
Well, it's heartbreaking, and you know, I don't know what the solution is, Rebecca, because you know, if you go to a shelter trying to do the right thing, turning in a dog,
Right.
you know, a parent is going
Right.
to a nursing home, circumstances have changed so
Why don't
drastically.
you just put it so I can see you too? So I feel like
I'm
the
wearing
Lone
my
Ranger.
Aero Fun t-shirt, by the way. See?
I know. Yeah, that's better. I feel like now I'm not a square in the corner talking to myself. Thank you.
One of the biggest problems is that there is no real other alternative, you know, and I've been personally present in situations where people have tried to make an owner surrender at a city shelter and have been turned away because
Correct.
of overcrowding and because that's not their mission. And the people have said, "I'm going to dump the dog." And I have personally put those dogs on my page to try to help them, or contacted rescues to try to help them. but there's no real alternative. And it's like everybody's scrambling for something to do to help in a situation like that. And I don't know what the solution is. I really don't.
Well, I mean, one thing, and this is just my opinion, it's not the opinion of anyone else but me. One thing that I have found so sad is that all these, like the Craigslist, the swap meets, the neighborhood things, the neighborhood Facebook things, you know, they're showing puppies for $25, $50, and they're letting them go for like, you know, that price, and they're taking them away from their moms at
3 and 4 weeks.
And 4 weeks, and 4 weeks is pushing it for some. It's just so sad because then the mothers are desperate again, and it's just a source of income for God, you know, for I don't know what, but we've got to come up with something so people just aren't breeding. We have to have more spay neuter go on. We have to have more outreach to rural communities. We have to have shelters that get some type of recognition and some type of budget to try and help this epidemic. And it is awful.
Yeah, it's become really a serious problem, especially in the outlying counties. Although, you know, we do have a severe overpopulation issue, especially the pit bull overpopulation issue in Louisville, which is of great concern. Great concern. And so I think one of the lessons learned there is spay and neuter is absolutely critical. And we right now have no law in effect, but I know that Catherine Callahan from HSUS is talking about a pet food surcharge, which is as little as $37 per pet per month or per year. Something ridiculously small.
It's
a few dollars.
I don't think it's that high.
A few dollars.
Well, you said $37.
Cents.
Cents.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, people may have a problem with that, but if we can line it up and get the statistics and actually have someone who governs the funds if they count in. I mean, I'm not prepared to talk about that yet.
Yeah, I'm not either, but it's a good thought to talk about.
Worth looking into, and I know that it's been a very successful thing in other states. Oh, here we go.
I'm flipping you off, not really. I'm flipping you over because I need to say hi to some of our friends who are watching us today, who support the Aero Fund and support you. Deb Humphreys on here, Denise Favre, Tom Walker, Marsha Moss. Adressa Collard from Dogs Helping Heroes is with us. Debbie Gober, whom we love very much. Our dear friend Hannah Truxell, who got me to stop eating pork. Yay, Hannah. John Young, my former co-anchor. Dawn Pendleton is watching. Liz Matley. Brittany Thomas of Companion Pet Behavior Solutions, which is an awesome place on Frankfurt Avenue. Courtney Gray, who is one of our favorite people. Randy Metzger. Hey, Randy. How are you doing, buddy? And Judy Foster, the Uber rescuer who helped me with the evacuation of the veteran and his wife and 9 animals. Never be able to thank her enough for that. So, Rebecca, we're going to just wrap up here a little bit because I know you've got to go, and I want to be sure that you're available when they call you about Daktari. What does Daktari have ahead of us? So we started this conversation with this little dog right here who was brought in last night by a good Samaritan named Amanda Barley from Radcliffe. And he had a badly broken femur, gashes all over, ruptured anal glands, now possibly a T7 vertebrae that is broken, which needs to be...
Have a T7
he does. So now that all has to be addressed. And the worst part of it was from the perspective of people who are huge animal lovers and who don't want these horrible things to happen. The insult to injury was that "free dog" was written on his collar in black marker.
Heartbreaking.
Disgusting. And Amanda and her daughter JoJo brought this dog, drove an hour. Rebecca was waiting for them at Blue Pearl very late last night. It was wonderful. Katie Rust at Wave 3 picked the news up immediately. I helped shoot some stringer video, and they did the news story on the web in the middle of the night. Sarah Rivest has followed up with us this afternoon, and I think she's going to be heading out to Blue Pearl here around 6 o'clock to bring you an update.
Yeah, I'm meeting them so it will be post-op, and I'm going to do a report, so it should be on tonight. So it's just a follow-up on Daktari.
I love the
cool
fact,
name, right?
you know, we have a bunch of completely crazy animal lovers who happen to work in media here in town.
We do.
And
I'm so thankful to them all.
We love them.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. Yeah. So Katie and Sarah, both of you, we really appreciate you guys, and Lauren and Brian in the morning, and I know they had a couple of other reporters on it throughout the day. Thank you for that coverage. Daktari's going to have surgery. We're going to keep him in our prayers, keep Rebecca and all of the Aero Fund people in our prayers as well, because they have a brutal job dealing with this kind of cruelty and just insanity every single day. And Hannah just said, regarding the pet food surcharge, not sure on annual amount, but my recollection is 3 cents per pet per month, which is about 37 cents, I think, is what Catherine was telling me. So that makes sense.
It's absolutely worth looking into for our state.
Yep.
I mean, and people will hear the word tax, or something, and we need to really look into it before we turn our heads and say no way.
But it would be a spay-neuter fund, which is the whole idea.
And we need a very responsible group to govern that. That's my big thing.
Right.
And if this is done, to govern and make sure that who really needs it gets it, and it gets dispersed fairly.
Absolutely. Hey, Becca, thank you for taking time. I know you've got a busy afternoon, but give Daktari a kiss from his Aunt Tara.
I will.
And
thanks, Tara, for coming out last night. This woman is a hero for the homeless, the animals, everyone. So thank you, Tara.
I just flipped you back.
She turned her back on me, literally.
Love you guys, Becca. I'm going out to dinner with one of my childhood friends who went 1st through 12th grade with me at St. Mary of the Valley.
Woohoo! Have fun.
Patty Martin Duggan and her husband Tim and her grandson Corey. So I haven't seen her in 40 years.
Wow.
So I'm very excited. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a great day. Take care, Becca.